Welcome to College Football Now. I am Will Scott here on this Monday morning, getting you guys a Stanford Hot Board. We're going to talk about the top 10 head coaching candidates for the Cardinal after David Shaw resigned after 16 seasons at the helm. He stepped aside after another disappointing season. You know, he had a great run at Stanford, but the Cardinal think that it's time to move on, and they certainly will have some interesting names to look at here, as we will talk about on our list. But I want to know from y'all, who should Stanford hire as their head coach? Go down in the comment section. Let me know. It is the pinned comment. Reply to it when you get a second. And we begin with number 10. That name being Mike Bloomgren, the head coach at Rice. He was previously the Stanford offensive coordinator, has now been at Rice for a couple seasons, but he did work for David Shaw from 2014 to 2017 as his offensive coordinator. Now, it is worth noting that Bloomgren has not yet had a winning season at Rice. He's been there for 5 years and has a 16-38 record. Quite frankly, if he had had a lot more success at Rice the last couple years, he might be number 1 on my list, but that's why he's number 10. Rice, though, is in a position to go to a bowl game because there's one 5-7 team that will go to a bowl. They have the highest graduation rate, so it does look like that Bloomgren has led the Owls to a bowl game for the first time in his tenure there. Moving on to, this is a pretty interesting name, Jason Garrett, the former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Last coach is the offensive coordinator for the New York Football Giants. And yeah, I get it, this name is a little bit out there, but Jason Garrett really wanted the Duke head coaching job last year. It was given to Mike Elko. So Duke and Stanford are pretty much the same job, right, producer Patrick Seaman? I mean, two prestigious schools from an academic standpoint that are trying to be good at football again. So yeah, Jason Garrett here makes my list because I do believe that he would want to get back into coaching if the right opportunity presented itself. This guy is on a lot of hot boards that we've put together because his name, for some reason, keeps getting linked. That's Bill O'Brien. Now, apparently Bill O'Brien was pretty deep into conversations with Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech did the right thing moving in another direction there. It looks like they're going to hire Willie Fritz. I thought Brent Key did a very good job as the interim head coach. But Bill O'Brien, I mean, the fact that Bama fans want him out of town tells you all you need to know about the job that he's done as an offensive coordinator. He destroyed the Houston Texans franchise. They have not recovered yet. So I do not think this would be a good hire for not just Stanford, but really anybody with a head coaching vacancy. But when you have a Bama coordinator, they're going to continue to be linked to jobs like this. So he's number 8 on my list, not any higher than that. I do want to tell you about our friends over at Kamikoto Knives. They have a massive holiday sale going on right now. You can get knives up to 50% off plus free shipping if you go to kamikoto.com/chat. They make great Japanese steel kitchen knives using traditional techniques that have been honed and perfected by generations of knifesmiths. The knives come in a heavy-duty ashwood box, which makes it a great gift this holiday season. Each knife is individually inspected, and they are so confident in their product that they come with a lifetime guarantee. They're carefully polished. Both blade and handle are satin finish, making them smooth as silk. Kamikoto knives are wickedly sharp and perfect for slicing meats and veggies to prepare an amazing deal on every college football game day. They're used by star chefs all over the world, and they're having a huge holiday sale right now, like I said, where our Chat Sports subscribers can get $50 off plus free shipping with discount code CHAT at kamikoto.com/chat. Take advantage of that holiday deal. I was using Kamikoto knives on Thanksgiving. They're great. Use them on Christmas as well because you're probably going to have family back in town. That's the link, that promo code in the comments and the description of this video. Moving on to another interesting name here. That is Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame. Now, he's obviously a Notre Dame guy. He played there. He's been the OC now the last couple of years, and he's done a great job as the offensive coordinator. Worked under Brian Kelly. It was actually rumored to be in the mix for that job. They ultimately give to Marcus Freeman, but he decided not to follow Kelly to LSU and stay on with Freeman's staff. So I think Tommy Rees is one of the bright, up-and-coming coaches in the country, young coaches in the country, and I think that he'd be a pretty solid hire here for Stanford. Would Tommy Rees be a good hire? Type Y for yes or type in for no down in the comment section. Go down and let me know what you think down in the comments. It'd be tough to pull him from Notre Dame. It would take a really good head coaching gig, but I think this is a pretty good opportunity for him if the opportunity arose. Talking about another, young up-and-coming coach, that is Jim Leohnard, who was the interim head coach at Wisconsin. Most people expected him to get that job, but they ultimately give it to Luke Fickell. Leohnard went 4-3 as the interim head coach. It remains to be seen whether or not he's going to stay on Fickell's staff. I'd be pretty surprised if he remained on Luke Fickell's staff. We'll have to wait and see, but I do believe that he's going to be at the top of a lot of lists here when you're talking about head coaching vacancies, as he should be. Did a pretty good job as the defensive coordinator at Wisconsin, stepped in, got Wisconsin to a bowl eligibility as the interim head coach. I really like Jim Leohnard. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they should have hired him, because if you have a chance to get a coach like Luke Fickell, you should go get Luke Fickell. But Jim Leonard's a great coach, and any team that lands him is going to be very lucky. Mike Elko. This is another interesting prospect here. The head coach at Duke. Texas A&M, I was at their game over the weekend against LSU, and pretty much every Texas A&M fan you talk to, producer Patrick, would tell you how much they miss Mike Elko. They wish he was the head coach in College Station. He was the defensive coordinator for Texas A&M for 4 seasons. Then he goes to Duke, completely turns around that program in 1 year. They went 8-4 this year. Yes, Duke went 8-4 in football this year. Pretty impressive job that Elko has done right out of the gates, which makes it hard for me to believe that he would leave Duke after just 1 season for Stanford. Yeah, Stanford's the better job, and he's proven to be able to have some success at a prestigious academic institution, but I'd be surprised if Elko left after 1 season. If he had spent a couple seasons at Duke, he might be number 1 on my list, but I don't really think it's super realistic that he's going to leave the Blue Devils right now. Be sure to subscribe for more college football videos. We're giving you guys free content each and every single day, and whenever there is a Power 5 head coaching vacancy, we get you guys a video ASAP. Go down, subscribe to the channel. Might even get you guys a Cincinnati Hot Board later on this week. We'll see. Jonathan Smith coming in at number 4 on my list here, the head coach at Oregon State, and he's been linked to some other jobs. I don't think he's going to leave Oregon State for this particular job. Keep in mind that Oregon State is his alma mater. Yeah, Stanford might be a slightly better job, but right now it might be a lateral move to move from Oregon State to Stanford. But Jonathan Smith's done a hell of a job over there. Corvallis went 9-3 this season, just beat Oregon over the weekend. So I really like Smith, but he's not top 3 on this list because I do believe it'd be somewhat of a lateral move. Troy Taylor out of Sacramento State. A lot of y'all might have no idea who this guy is, but he is the guy that's being linked to the Stanford job more than anybody, and here's why. He has been one of the best FCS head coaches in the country at Sacramento State. Did not have a season in 2020, but here's what he's done. In 2019, 9-4, including 7-1 in conference, 9-3 in 2021, 8-0 in conference. This season, 11-0, 9-0 in conference. They're one of the best teams, if not the best team, in FCS right now. I mean, he has just 1 conference loss in 3 seasons at the helm of Sacramento State. And another reason that he's being linked to the Stanford job is not just because of the success he's had at Sacramento State, not just because Sacramento State is in state, but he has 7 years of Pac-12 coaching experience. Played at Cal, coached at Cal, and also spent 2 seasons as the head coach at, as the offensive coordinator, at Utah. So a lot of Pac-12 coaching experience for Taylor. I actually expect him to be the guy for this job. Bronco Mendanhall, someone else who has been linked here to Stanford, the former head coach at Virginia. I really like Bronco Mendenhall. He has 135 wins as a head coach, was the head coach at BYU for a long time, then spent 5 seasons at Virginia, led Virginia to the Orange Bowl in 2019. So I think he'd be a great hire. It is worth noting that when he stepped down from Virginia last year, he did not say he was retiring. He also confirmed that he had not taken another coaching position, but he also said that he would not rule out a return to coaching. So I'd be pretty surprised if he was actually done coaching. And with how good of a job that he did at BYU and Virginia, I think there's going to be some interest here from Stanford when it relates to Bronco. Mendenhall has some experience coaching on the West Coast, knows how to recruit out there. I think it makes some sense. But the guy that makes maybe the most sense, and who would be the best hire probably by far, is Chris Petersen, the former head coach of both Boise State and Washington. Kind of a similar deal at Bronco when he stepped down. A lot of people expected him to get back into coaching eventually. It was actually linked to the LSU head coaching job last year before Brian Kelly was hired. But I really like Chris Petersen. I mean, you're talking about a top 5 coach when he was an active head coach. He's fantastic. Would he go to Stanford would be the question. He left Washington. Would he go to a job like Stanford? I'm not sure, which is why I want you to go down and rate the Stanford job. Scale it 1 to 10 down in the comments section. It used to be, and I still think it's a really good job. It obviously used to be a little bit of a better job than it is just because they've struggled the past couple years. But really, any of those top 5 guys would be fantastic hires. We'll have to wait and see who gets that job.